This is my cultural heritage presentation by Fernando Graticos. So for this first slide, I wanted to show parts of modern Puerto Rican culture and how they relate to me. In the bottom left is a picture of a common Puerto Rican slang pronounced huepa that's similar to woohoo in English but can be used in different contexts. When I asked my dad about how long that's been a saying, like if it's been around since he was a kid, he said it became popular in the mid 1970s after Alfonso Velez made a song that constantly said that word. On the top right, you can see multiple different forms of merchandise with the Puerto Rican flag on it. For quite some time, Puerto Rico has been a popular tourist location thanks to its tropical environment, and souvenirs like these are common wherever you go. Puerto Ricans are very prideful, and our flag is a major way that we show it. Here in Pennsylvania, I've seen a number of Puerto Rican flag banners inside of cars. For the bottom image, I have a picture of a Puerto Rican house. Many of the homes are made of stone and concrete, unlike the houses here that have wood framework. This is because of natural disasters like hurricanes that hit the island every once in a while. Wooden houses would get utterly destroyed and swept away. Vibrant colors are common and they reflect the mood of the island. And white metal rails are also common in houses. This is because burglary can be an issue and the bars help prevent it. The rails are also usually decorative and have their own designs depending on the homes. Here are some aspects of the Puerto Rican lifestyle. In the top right is an image of Old San Juan, the oldest settlement on the island that is a hot tourist attraction and filled with rich history. For example, the Batista Cathedral houses the tomb of Juan Ponce de Leon. One of the more distinct things about this area are the cobbled streets, and during the day there are tons of people either window shopping or actually buying since most homes are also shops. At night the cafes close and the bars open with more locals showing up to party instead. Speaking of partying, in the bottom left you can see a group of people partying since that is very common. We'll try to find a reason to celebrate for almost anything. When my cousin moved here from Puerto Rico, he mentioned one of the biggest differences was that here there's nowhere really to go, even though he made a group of buddies. In PR, he could drive around, find a party with no one he's ever talked to, and still have the time of his life. And that was almost a daily thing. On the bottom right, we can see how the interior of houses look. Usually the floors are stone or tile. I don't think I've ever seen carpet flooring unless it's in a hotel there, and wooden tables, chairs, and sofas are common, and the cushions are usually either a nice bright color or have floral patterns. For my ancestral history, I've looked into it more recently in the past year during lockdown and found out some interesting stuff. First off, despite my family having spent generations in Puerto Rico, there's not a lot of Taino ancestry in my bloodline, or at least that I know of. Most of it is from European settlers. The main European heritage is from Spain, and that's from my father's side. Those Spaniards came from Greece, though, when they couldn't find any work, but knew there was a demand for sailors in Spain. I don't know much about my mother's side besides that there is Taino heritage on that side, and that from her mother's side, she has French heritage. I found that out last week, and that was a surprise. I never would have thought that originally. Inside of Puerto Rico, most of my family is concentrated in Caguas. Something interesting about Puerto Rico is that it's kind of like a mini melting pot, similar to the United States. Like, despite being a 13th of the size of Pennsylvania, it's only 1/3 of the population, so it's a lot more dense. Of the people there, most come from three main backgrounds. The original people of the island are called Taino. Then there's the Europeans that came after having discovered the New World, and brought along with the Europeans were the African slaves that were used for farming. As time passed, now you'll see a range and variety of ethnicity among the population, but regardless, most will identify as Puerto Rican, not white, black, or native. The Pennsylvania sign there is since now my immediate family is in Pennsylvania. One of my favorite traditions is the Christmas food we have. There might be some variety from family to family, but more times than not, it's a combination of these foods: rice and pigeon peas, roasted pork shoulder, tamales, potato salad, egg salad, mofongo, whole roasted pig, blood sausage, and or avocados. For dessert, there's coquito, which is a coconut alcoholic drink, coconut pudding, flan, which is either coconut or cream cheese flavored, and tres leches, a three milk cake. Some of the foods like rice and pigeon peas are common throughout the year since they're a staple part of our dishes, but other foods like roasted pig and coquito are almost always for celebrations. These are the foods that I look forward to as the winter season approaches, and it's always delicious. After Three Kings Days, the next 8 days are called Las Octavitas, which is like an extended celebration of Christmas. People continue to throw festive parties and do modified Christmas carols. Carolers quietly gather around a house at night and then sing and play their instruments loudly in an attempt to wake the family up with happy music. If the members of the household do wake up, it's tradition for the household to offer drinks to the carolers and then that family join in with the caroling for the next house. Sometimes it can keep on going and last until sunrise. Overall, I said it before, but I'll say it again, Puerto Ricans really like to celebrate and have a fun time.